Putin just made a trip to India. So a lot of the analysts expected Putin and India and those guys to have huge defense deals, especially after Operation Sindhu. Unfortunately, there was no big ticket item discussed in that meeting. And the discussion mostly co-development, co-production of the stealth jet, upgrades in the air defense network S-400, procurement signed for, there was no procurement signed for Su-57s or air defense S-500. Could be a reason for it. However, what we found out is IAF, not due to their meeting or their communique from the bilateral meeting or the Putin visit, but besides that, offline, India, out of the radar, has negotiated a major upgrade with 300 long-range R-37 Russian missiles. This is for the Indian fleet, the S-30 MK1. This will restore, according to Indians, their BVR advantage over Pakistan. And I mean, the advantage which we had on PL-15s is now going to shift to India. Now, what is this? The 300 long-range R-37 missiles have a huge defense deal, bring around 300 long-range missiles to India. This is to boost Indian air power and get them to get ahead of the PAF. Anyway, so we did a good presentation and we shot a few of them down. We did not shoot them helter-skelter, but we gave them a breather, and now they're coming back with a response. Indian Air Force had been pushing this deal after learning many hard lessons during Operation Sindoor in May of 2025. During that fight, Indian pilots flying SQ-MK1s often struggled against Pakistan Air Force J-10CE fighters that carry the PL-15 missiles. Remember, in our video previously, we had projected it 6 months earlier than Sindoor that this PL-15 is going to win the fight, is going to give us the air dominance. Not air superiority, dominance. That's what happened. Indians went to sleep for 2 weeks. The Air Force didn't wake up. PL-15, effectively, they're saying, analysts, 180 to 200 kilometers. And Pakistan, big jet advantage. However, it's more like 300 if it's not the export portion. Now, what's the new is known as AA-13 X-Head. The Western name for this one is X-Head. Changes the picture in a big way. This missile can travel 300 kilometers, far beyond PL-15, maybe, but definitely equal to or greater than PL-15. They can spot, Indian pilots can spot, target, and fire long before Pakistan gets a chance to shoot back. The Air Force believes this will give India a first look, first shot, first kill advantage in air battle. Logical conclusion. Now, the second thing I want to tell you in this one is this R-37M, which is called the AA-13 X-Head, is a hypersonic BVR. Our PL-15 is not hypersonic. So in this case, when they fire it, there is no escape zone. Our advantage of electronic warfare may not be there at all. Before we know it, boom. They call this R-37 the AWACS killer. So most of our AWACS and SAB electronic warfare machines, then the Turkish, they may be full targets for this missile. And if we get blinded that way, then we may have a lot more issues there. They can go after refuel tanks, so that limits the ability of our Air Force to stay in the air. So it looks like Indians are coming in a big way, and Russians are supporting them in a big way. And Russians knowing fully well who China is supporting. So this is kind of a very, very, very interesting. Now, these same missiles can be used against China. This one carries a 16-kilogram explosive warhead and uses the Agat 9B 1388 active radar seeker for very accurate targeting. It can also chase down cruise missiles that are hard to spot. So not only it can shoot down enemy planes, it can also shoot down our cruise missiles. Okay. Now, a lot of guys will say, oh, they can't do it because it's not loud. Now, the Indians expect the missile to fit smoothly in the IF S-30 MK1s because it's all approved for the Russian Su-30SM. Very similar aircraft. They don't need to change structure. They only need to add small software upgrades to the mission computer and the N011M bar radar. After the jets can use a missile seeker and high or lofted flight path. So they just think the upgrade of software, and they're off to go. So that means Indians are on target to come after us by about March, April. So all the rest of their 60 billion hardware, 20 or so from Israel of electronic warfare and the rest, they're all going to come to fruition in the March, April timeframe. The Indian SQ Mk1 will carry the missiles in hidden spots under the fuselage. So they're trying to reduce the radar coverage, and each jet can hold up to 2 R-37M. This location keeps the wing pylons free so pilot can load the missiles like the R-77 and Astra Mk1 or Mk the rest. So in rounding it up, with this and with the Pakistan only J-10CEs and the PL-15s, the Indians will have an advantage in range. The Indians will have an advantage in speed, and there will be no escape zone for the Pakistani pilots.